Welcome everybody. Welcome back to our playthrough of Elder Scrolls Online. I'm JahannSurvival, and without further ado, let's get right back into it. So, we've just been mainly running through the main story quest. We're in Greymoor in Western Skyrim, and just slowly working our way. Sorry the videos have been so long up to now. We're going to work on just doing 30-minute sections from now on, and just kind of try and shorten up a little bit. And from there we're going to work on that and slowly make our way through the whole game. We're going to do a couple things for... So the reason I'm collecting everything, some of this stuff isn't really important for... Some of the things really aren't as important to cover or talk about. So some of it we're just gonna...
These are temple priests and pilgrims. It seems the storm killed them. I'll need to perform more tests. But from what we've seen, I believe the storm affects mortals in 3 distinct ways. It kills them, transforms them into harrow fiends, and leaves them mindless. I suppose I'd say it harrowed those poor pilgrims. I want to learn more about the ritual and how it produces the harrow storms. And I need to confirm my theories about the storm's effects. I'll start by examining the residue from the witch pike to identify the components used to power the ritual. My alchemical equipment. It's extremely fragile, so I left it in my pack. I hid it among a copse of trees once I saw all the vampires and harrow fiends. Once I retrieve it, I can find a place to begin my analysis.
So once we get this character to level 60, we'll start focusing on other content other than just working on a playthrough. But for right now, we're just going to work on doing the playthrough. And then once I have some characters to level cap, we'll go ahead and focus on some of the other things.
That's close enough, Leech.
Wait! I'm not part of the coven!
Looks like I made it back just in time. This place is crawling with vampires, and that one was about to make a meal out of you. House Ravenwatch. I've heard of them, but he's a long way from Rivenspire. Well, if you're willing to trust a vampire, I suppose I can too. I spotted a coven witch. If we hurry, we might be able to catch her. On the cliff overlooking the temple. Calls herself Sister Embrit. I was going to rush her, but I wanted to make sure you hadn't run afoul of any of these monsters first. No offense, Father. Come on. If we're lucky, the witch is still up there.
Perhaps I could question the witch before you introduce her to your impressive axe blade?
She does have a very impressive axe blade, though. That's Lear's Titanborn for you. Alright, so let's go ahead and move on. So one of the things I do like about the game is it does allow you to jump. And I've said in the past, this is not my first playthrough, just my first playthrough on PC. That's why we're starting at level 1. If it weren't for that, why can't I get over this? So as we do the playthrough, we'll slowly get into a little more detail throughout the game and how it's played and whatnot. For right now, the main thing is just trying to understand the story for you guys, and looking at it from that standpoint more so than the actual.
The ritual needs refinement.
Kill her before she can summon another storm.
Willing sacrifices. How nice.
Sacrifice! I'd rather give you my axe, witch.
Hoped you could take her prisoner. No matter. I found something. This way?
Go with your vampire friend. I'm gonna look around here.
Do you see? These are the same as the urns smuggled from Bankarai. They didn't just shatter. They exploded. I can sense traces of magicka clinging to the shards that match the energy used in the storm ritual. These other fragments, though. All this rubble scattered around didn't just come from these urns. The texture and patterns are different. They appear to have used the funerary dust in the urns to summon the Harrow Storms. But I'm not sure what was inside the larger vessels. Look at the shape of the fragments. They come from a hollow receptacle of some sort. Something at least as tall as you. Perhaps larger. Just another piece of the puzzle. Maybe when I analyze the witchpike residue, an answer will suggest itself. Thank you, but no. I try to avoid large population centers. Be temptation. You understand. I'll find someplace nearby, but out of the way where I can set up my equipment and work undisturbed. I'll send word when I have something to report. I met a clever woman who lives in the bog near Morthal. Old Mjolin's a dying breed among the Nords, a practitioner of the old magic. The locals both admire and fear her. If anyone can help me untangle the Coven's ritual, it's her. Mjolin's experience with the old ways and reach magic make her ideally suited to assist me in this endeavor. She's the closest thing to an expert we're likely to find out here. At least one who doesn't want to feed our eyes to a harpy. Western Skyrim consists of 3 hodes: Hafengar, Hjalmarch, and Carthald. Morthal is the capital of Hjalmarch. It's located southeast of Solitude, along the River Hjal. Old Mjolin lives in the marshlands nearby. The Raven Watch has had to curtail rogue vampire clans, and put down feral blood fiends on occasion, but I've never dealt with anything like this before. People turning into Harrow fiends, or becoming mindless harrowed. It's a nightmare. Yes, but more research is required to confirm anything. Still, from what we observed here, it appears the Harrow Storm produced 3 distinct results in those caught within it. It turned them into Harrow fiends, or harrowed, or it simply killed them.
Alright.
So, what did your vampire friend discover? Reach witches summoning magical storms to create feral vampires? That That's horrible, but to what purpose? Well, that's the next puzzle to solve. First, we need to get this information to the Queen. Here. This was for Brondel, but it's yours now. Queen Gerhild needs to hear what we discovered at Kilcreath Temple. Hopefully that will be enough for her to get us an audience with High King Svargrim. The Queen seemed reasonable. She'll believe us. As for Svargrim, who can tell? I haven't met the man, but everything I've heard describes him as prideful, arrogant, and hard-headed. Even with the Queen's help, there's no guarantee. I'd like to knock down the palace door, grab him by the throat, and shake him until he listens. That would probably start a war, though, and Yoren specifically asked me to avoid that. For now, let's bring our evidence to Queen Gerhild. If there's anything else we need to discuss, let's get it out of the way now, before we return to Solitude. Hey, you and Fenorian came to that conclusion, not me. Still, it makes as much sense as anything. As to why, I have no idea. This connection to vampires, though, that's troubling. We should keep Fen away until we get into Svargrim's good graces. A clever woman? Out here? Nords are extremely distrustful of magic, especially Nords from western Skyrim. I'm surprised the people of Morthal tolerate her presence. If anyone can help Fen figure out the Coven's ritual, though, it would be her. Our priority remains getting an audience with High King Svargrim. We need to convince him that the Ice Reach Coven is a threat to his kingdom, and get him to help us stop them. Let's return to Solitude and present our findings to the Queen. Clever men and women are Nords with an aptitude for magic, though most use the term to refer to practitioners of the old ways. They're rare. Not the usual adepts found at the Mages Guild. Distrust of magic runs deep in Skyrim, especially out here. Could be that the elves our ancestors fought soured our taste for magic. Or maybe there weren't enough skalds singing about wizards going to Sovngarde. Might be that Nords just prefer their natural talents. Either way, magic isn't popular here.
Alrighty, guys. So the next thing we're gonna do is fast travel back to Skyrim. Or Solitude, sorry. Let me know if you like the way I'm doing this, or if there's anything you'd like to see in the comments. This would be a good time to go ahead and say, hey, do me a favor. If you like the video, go ahead and click like, and feel free to subscribe. If you don't like the video, well, let me know so we can improve and go from there. So really quick, we're going to run over here to the bank. I want to grab something out of the bank for this character.
Protect your favorite. Enjoying the hospitality of...
Since this isn't my main character, we're going to be depositing a lot of the spells and that for learning later. was a badass looking camel. The next part of this quest is we're going to go back to the temple, or sorry, not the temple, the palace, where we're going to attempt to try and meet with the Queen of the Audience, and inform her of what's transpired and what we've found.
A fascinating application of the technique.
That's one of the Queen's
Well,
attendants.
that's not
Let's
good.
get inside.
Be strong, Svanna.
Mother! No! No!
Svanna, your father, the kingdom. Watch over.
Mother! No! You can't die! Mother!
Sire, the assassins might return. You must get to somewhere safe.
Have Yoren's lackeys come to gloat?
We came here to warn you, Your Highness.
And yet my wife lies dead,
If you had listened to us,
like she did. If I determine Yoren had a hand in this, there will be war! Someone take care of my wife!
Father, please.
gods, what a disaster. The Queen's been assassinated and Svargrim still refuses to listen to reason. We need to find a way to set things right. Good question. The guards should have been able to handle a run-of-the-mill assassin. This could be connected to the Ice Reach Coven. In fact, I'd wager my axe that it is. Look around. See if you can find any indication of how the assassin got in and out of the palace so easily. Maybe even turn up something that ties the murderer to the Coven. I'll make sure the princess is all right. Svanna's taking this pretty hard. I suppose most daughters feel close to their mothers. Not that I'd know, I never knew my mother. Sorry, don't mind me. Did you find anything that might lead us to the assassin? We've seen these medallions before. On the Reachman near Kilcreath. And I saw them on the witches in Ice Reach. The assassin definitely seems to be in league with the Coven. But can we get Svargrim to believe that and accept the danger he's in? Svargrim has every right to be angry. He watched his wife die right before his eyes. But he's the High King. He doesn't have the right to be stupid. Time to make Svargrim confront some hard truths. Come on, the Sword Thane led the king upstairs. We need to see the High King.
I should think not. The High King is in mourning. He's not to be disturbed.
The Queen's wasn't the only life lost today. Now get out of our way.
Go right in.
Your Highness, please. Your kingdom is in grave danger.
My queen's blood hasn't yet cooled, and already Yoren's lackeys hound me.
We have proof that the Coven threatening your kingdom is responsible for the Queen's death. Show him, partner.
Does Yoren think me so weak that he believes his half-giant can twist my arm and fill my head with lies? I am not so easily duped, outsider. Reach witches. They pose no threat. We've beaten back those wild dogs time and time again, while our brothers to the east bow down to a poetry-writing milk drinker. I will not be lectured on such matters by the likes of you. Tales told around campfires to scare the children. Storms happen here all the time, and none of them spawn monsters. The last spy who spoke of such things, well, he no longer speaks of such things. I am the Wolf of Solitude. I know my enemies. You dishonor my wife's name by letting it pass through your treacherous lips. Away with you! And pray I don't find evidence that ties you to the Queen's murder. That would not go so well for you.
We'll leave you to your grief, Your Highness.
Well,
Is it true? Mother told me you were working for her before she...
I'm sorry, Svanna. I would have saved her.
My mother. She told me she gave the mighty Lyris Titanborn an important task. Tell me, what were you doing for my mother? Threat? What threat? And do you think this is why someone came into the palace and killed her? And did you tell my father all this? Is he rallying the soldiers? Alerting the other holds? My father sees Yoren's plots everywhere, even in his spicy venison stew. Well, I won't let my mother's death be for nothing. She trusted you, and so will I. My father be damned. Please, find whoever did this and stop them. I saw the assassin. He moved fast. Unbelievably fast. He leaped through the window after stabbing my mother. By that time, the guards had gathered, so I guess he decided to flee. Try to follow his trail. Someone outside must have seen something. He was fast, that's for certain. Here and gone before the guards could even draw their swords. Other than that, I didn't get a good look. The inside of his hood was nothing but shadows. My father? Listen to me? When horkers fly, maybe. But probably not even then. He gave up on me a long time ago. I'm sorry. I'm no use to you. No use to anyone. I'm not my mother. Never will be. But I swear I'll do whatever I can to help you. You have my word on that. No. My mother... The last time we spoke, I hurled a mug at her. But I came when she summoned me. Just in time to see her murdered. I need to pull myself together. She asked me to watch over my father. The kingdom. I can't let her down.
Come on, Princess. Let's get you somewhere safe.
Don't call me princess. Just Svanna. There's nothing noble about me.
and that's what makes this story good. This game has some of the best storytelling for most MMOs that I've seen. And it's one of the things I personally really enjoy about the game is the stories that the game tells. It brings you in, and they're not go here, fetch this, fetch that, and kill 50 of these.
Well,
there's always a purpose behind it.
My wife, she is like ice, so cold, so pale. All the warmth sucked out of her. There was a commotion at the palace. Everyone was headed that way, except one man. No, not a man. He wore an eye patch, but his face was bestial. He dragged her along like a bone between a dog's teeth, and he tossed her aside, pale as snow. He was fast, so fast, ran toward the Hall of the Dead. He never even looked back at what he had done.
Okay, so far we know it's a creature moving very fast. Let's keep running and see what else we see. Looks like the next point is just here to the left.
Will you pray with me for these poor souls? Cut down and bound for the Hall of the Dead much too soon. It was a monster, a vampire. I have seen such creatures before, but this one wore an eye patch. It moved like a shadow and took sustenance from these poor souls. I called upon Arkay's grace, and the vampire fled before his sacred presence. Toward the main gate, I pray the guard finished off the depraved creature before it took another innocent life.
Okay. Let's go towards the main gate. looks like a little tiniest little pony. Another thing, there's so many things in this game to get distracted by. It's sometimes a little overwhelming.
You again? Didn't I warn you about putting your nose where it doesn't belong?
There's this asshole.
A vampire? I don't know what you're talking about. But whoever it was tore out Senolia's throat and fled through the gate before I could stop him. What do you know about all this? And why is it any of your business? The Queen's dead? What about the High King? He'll have my head for letting the assassin slip away. You think... Would the High King really... But I'm a loyal subject. No more talk. I need to get Senolia off the street.
This is Svargrim's fault. He should have heeded us from the start. Damn Svargrim and his distrust of Yoren. How many more of his people have to die before he accepts the truth and lets us help him? Forget that for now. Tell me about the assassin. Did anyone get a good look at the murderer? That would explain the assassin's swiftness and ability to escape so easily. We knew the Ice Reach Coven had vampires on their side, but using them so blatantly. Anything else to report? Well then, time to fight fire with fire. They've got evil vampires, and we've got a friendly one. Let's find out exactly what your friend Fen knows about vampire clans in the area. Where did you tell me Fen was going again? Right, to research the ritual. Go find them and see what you can learn. I'll stay with Svanna. Bring her up to speed on everything we've uncovered. We're going to need her to get the High King to trust us. And I'm calling him Fen. It's simpler.
Alrighty, guys. So I think at this point, this is where we're going to call it quits for today. And tomorrow we'll return and proceed further with the main story on our playthrough on this Bobo Necromancer. Right now I'm trying to focus more on the story aspect of the game. If there's anything you'd like us to focus or look at, please feel free to leave it in the comments below. And every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday you can find me out on Twitch streaming. I stream a multitude of other games. So come out, check us out, and thank you for watching, and have a wonderful day.